why this was 2 hours. It made no sense. There wasn't enough gameplay, enough excitement, not even enough to cover. Like, you could have squeezed the veto ceremony and eviction and even the Jerry O'Connell interview in an hour episode. Why it was 2 hours, I have no clue.
No. I mean, what's up? We're gonna be doing this for the next couple days. Almost done. Shayna got some revenge. I mean, Carson got what he deserved.
I'm going to preface this just by saying, if you haven't already, please text 215-23 and vote Shayna, please.
Hashtag
vote once a day.
Hashtag Shayna deserved better. That's my bit. I love her.
I was so excited. We talked about this earlier. I was so excited for this episode because I'm like, finally, they're going to show Carson and Cynthia being completely clueless, and like Carson will finally realize it. And instead, we got a Jerry O'Connell interview for 20 minutes, just talking about how great Todrick is.
Yeah. That was literally like, basically, he was talking about how great Todrick is, Todd Bridges, and Cynthia. So like,
this is like the Cynthia I know. I'm like, really? 5 days before the finale, you're saying that this is the Cynthia that like you like, and like, oh,
the Cynthia you know is a dumbass. I'm confused. I'm confused. That's the one you know.
The fact that they genuinely were like, no, yeah, like the fact that like Misha didn't use the veto, I guess their whole thought process was for some reason she would pull off Lamar, and then Cynthia and Carson are both up there.
And that would just be
I'm like, okay, you had literally no chance of staying anyway, but I guess if you makes you feel better, you can both, you know, think that you have a shot.
We'll give it to Cynthia for literally 5 seconds. She finally was like, I mean, if we don't try, and I'm like, yeah, we could have thought about that a long time ago. Or she's like, well, no one else wanted to get out Misha, so that's why we couldn't do it. Bitch, you didn't want to get out Misha. You didn't want to get out.
Apparently Lamar didn't want to get out Sheena either, so that would have been a vote for Misha. So maybe it's a whole lot of, you didn't do your homework and you didn't realize maybe we should have got rid of Misha instead of Shayna. And the fact that Carson can sit up there on the, again, I will give them a little bit of leeway because they're in the house. They don't know everything that's going on. It's just like, even with the information they were presented, how they came to that decision just blows my mind.
It just really makes me go, they really don't know the game. And they think the game is just about like being an honest person, which is actually like the furthest thing from what the game is about at all. But also, if Todrick didn't have an outside relationship with Carson, and for whatever reason people weren't mystified into thinking Misha is just this like holier than thou person, that wouldn't have worked. Any other scenario, any other house, celebrity, regular, regardless, that shit would not have fucking worked. It wasn't even well done.
No,
it wasn't even believable.
And the fact that they're gonna, use that, they're gonna use that as like their big move in the game.
Yeah.
And I saw some people saying like, well, you have to give credit where credit is due. Like they pulled it off. I'm like, okay, cool. Like they get the credit for people being stupid and falling for it because they don't know how to play the game. That's like saying,
it says more about how stupid Carson and Cynthia are instead of how
good Todrick and Misha are.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, Todrick like thinks he's playing like this like amazing social game. Clearly he isn't, because Chris Kirkpatrick, Sheena, even before the whole Sheena incident happened, they were not big fans of him.
Or Misha, because them together, he at least, if she isn't, you know, birds of a feather flock together, but also, you know, different environments, you'd be surprised, you know, what someone's influence can do to somebody else and how it can take them out of character in certain moments. But like, she doesn't look like a nice person in that house. And Todrick makes her look a lot better.
Which says a lot about Todrick.
He's awful. He is such a miserable fucking person. Okay, so I said this in the last video, but there was always something about him that I didn't like. I didn't know what it was. Everyone liked him. I do think I think he's talented. Not in Big Brother, but you know, in what he does, I think he's talented. I do. I think he's creative. He's talented. He's made quite the career for himself. Bravo. Credit where credit is due. But there was always something about him that I didn't like. And now I know what it is. He exuded this nasty ass energy. He's not a good person. Him at his core is a very mean, vindictive, jealous, hateful person.
He just has like this attitude.
Hurting other people to make himself feel better. He needs a lot of therapy. He needs a lot of help. The last thing he needs is more fame and money. It's the last thing. It's not helping him. It's not. Like, it's not good. But like, it's funny because I always said that, like, I'll probably get canceled for this. I don't know if anyone watches the video, but like, I always felt that way about Oprah and Ellen. I never liked them, ever. I didn't hate them, but there was something about them that I just was like, I don't get it. Like, everyone's like, oh, I love, they're the best. And I was like, well, I don't know why, but to me, there's like the red flags popping up that tells me it's not what it appears.
Fame can get to your head no matter how like successful you are. If the fame gets to your head, you just become a terrible person.
I know, but have you not noticed that it has come out how bad both of them are?
Oh, Oprah's always been like
questionable.
Look back
at her, the things
Ellen,
I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, 'tis the season. They are both Aquariuses, and Aquariuses have no soul. So shitty humans all around. When I found out their birthday, and then when all the shit came out, I said, how did I know? I knew when everybody else was sucking their tit all the time and thought they were the greatest fucking things ever. There was something in me that said, no, I felt the same way about Todrick.
It's just really disappointing because I know that Todrick had a lot of fans going into this, and I think that this was probably one of the worst moves he's made for his image.
Sure. I mean, he will still have fans. He will bounce back. Not everybody watches CBS. Not everybody watches Big Brother.
And not everybody cares about, like, even if he said controversial stuff before, and I mean, he still has.
But yeah, no, like, it's not a good look. And I almost feel like they brought in Jerry O'Connor or whatever, like, to fill space, but to also save some of these celebrities images because it wasn't going well. And he said he like personally knows every single one of them, but in particular,
I don't think that that's true though, because he was like, I know all of these people, Carson, Todrick,
Cynthia,
and then he was like,
Todd Bridges.
He was like, yeah, Misha, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Lamar, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you? Like, I don't know. Anytime a celebrity's like, oh yeah, like we're friends, or like I know them, I'm like, you probably met them once, and like
or you see them at events, but you're not friends. You don't have their number.
Like, you don't know their character because you've met them once. And I'm not to say that that's the extent of his relationships with people in the house, but it just felt very like, let's just bring on someone who's kind of famous to save their images.
Or that, plus maybe he is already slotted to come on next season. So they're kind of like feeling it out. Does the audience like him? Does he like being here? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I wouldn't have cared so much if it wasn't in a 2-hour episode. That's immediately no. Why this was 2 hours, it made no sense. There wasn't enough gameplay, enough excitement, not even enough to cover. Like, you could have squeezed the veto ceremony and eviction and even the Jerry O'Connell interview in an hour episode. Why it was 2 hours, I have no clue.
No. I think they really thought that by the end at this point, like maybe there'd be so much going on. It's so fast paced that they would need a 2-hour slot. So they already had that.
And now
And
it just feels like they were trying to fill up.
I mean, what was there?
There really wasn't much to this. It's been the same song and dance from Cynthia and Carson and Misha and Todrick. Todd and Lamar are completely oblivious to what's going on. Todd basically, like, as Jerry O'Connell said, Misha just kind of was like, so you're going to put up Carson and Cynthia or Carson and Lamar. And he's like, oh, yeah, Misha. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't even say that that's manipulation. I think it's just Todd doesn't know what's going on. He sees Misha clearly is talented at the game and is like, I'm just going to listen to Misha, even though she wants me gone right now.
Well, it's kind of like how a lot of people were with Paul in the house on his second season. It's like
that's what blows my mind. Like, Todrick and Misha are literally like, put them in any other house, they are the most basic average player. Like, Misha is like a little bit better than Todrick, just in the sense of competitions. Well, and also, she's a little bit more of a level-headed player.
And also in the sense of, I don't think she knew the game that well.
But she was able to figure it out really quickly.
That part.
Whereas every other celebrity in the house is like, well, I'm not winning competition, so I don't really need to figure out how to do this. Or like, I'm not really nominated, or like, I don't need to worry about getting evicted. So I'm just going to sleep and eat some more like food until I get kicked out. And then I have to go back to my normal day-to-day life. Like, it feels very, I don't know. And the fact that Carson now is gone, because as much as I disliked the way Carson...
Diary rooms are fire.
Diary rooms were great, but that was the only other bit of game combating Misha and Todrick. So now at this point, I have no clue what they're going to show on the show. It's probably just going to be like Todd going, dang, Misha really wanted me out. That's crazy. Or Lamar going, for like another 50 DR sessions.
You know, he was threatening to leave.
Yeah, I don't even like, it doesn't even blow me away, the fact that he wanted to leave.
He was threatening to leave. And then also, I guess Todd got mad at Misha because Misha said he talks more than like any girl. And he was like, I'm not a girl. And like, he got like, yeah, there was, look it up.
Let me, here, I'll pause real quick. So,
okay, I just, side note, I noticed we paused for a second to go fact check something. I might have something in my tooth in the beginning. Ignore that. My bad. It is what it is. I don't want to hear it.
Just a few of the highlights that I've been seeing on Twitter. And on these, Cynthia in a conversation with Todd and Lamar going, no, yeah, you definitely know how to play this game. Like, you're definitely playing this game. That's one. Lamar asking Misha if she's playing in the HOH tomorrow. For all you people on Twitter who are like, it's the same people who thought Victoria was like a mastermind about playing it up a little bit. I'm like, if you genuinely don't think that because where is there to fake in the DR? That's another thing. I never brought this up. Why Todrick, Misha are lying in the DR when I don't know why they do this. The audience knows everything that's going on. That's how you know that they know that they're getting a good edit, because they're like, I just have to vote to evict Shanna because she was just backstabbing me. I'm like, dude, no one in the game is seeing your vote but America.
Oh, she didn't backstab you. And the jury can watch the show. So really doesn't matter what you say.
That's going to be embarrassing to look back on. It would have been much better if you were like,
ding, ding, ding.
yeah, or something like that. Or been like, you know what? Like, I can't believe I got them to actually, put up and we're going to evict Shayna. Something like that. Instead of being like, Shayna's just playing both sides and like, I really just have to vote to evict her, Julie. But I love and respect her. Get out of here. I do not care. Like, this season has really just brought out the best of Big Brother in the beginning, and now it's bringing out why I hate this show sometimes. It's so annoying to see such it really just depends on the cast, but like such a good show turn into something like this where I'm just bored. I don't care anymore. Like a 2-hour episode, I still can't get over that. A 2-hour episode where literally the only like interesting game talk was Carson and Cynthia going, oh, you know what?
We need to try. Let's trick Todrick into coming to talk to us.
They're like, Carson's, oh my God, Carson's DR, where he's like, well, I got Cynthia's vote, so maybe I just need Todrick's. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That is how it works. That is how it works. But why would Todrick vote for you?
Todrick has wanted you out from day one. And when you look back and see that,
it's going to be embarrassing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
and
just
also,
admit you got played, and unfortunately by Todrick and Misha, but like, just know if you admit to being played and if you admit that you were wrong, the Big Brother fandom will forgive you. You'll never be as heated as Todrick is right now.
No, but if you try to like hold on to some like, no guys, like you don't understand. No, we saw it. We saw
everything. That's the thing that people don't understand. They're like, guys, you don't know like what was going on in there. I'm like, really? We have a pretty good idea. We're not just watching the show and your DRs. We're watching the live feeds.
More than any other show on TV, do we have an actual idea of what happened?
Yeah, over, but unfortunately we have 4 episodes.
It's so much.
We have a double eviction on Monday.
I'm not looking forward to it. It's literally making me yawn.
Yeah, and
we'll be here.
So
if you care, if you just are a glutton for punishment like us, you keep watching. If you like to watch people being tortured, you watch us talk about it. Yeah, so like, comment, share, subscribe, do your thing.